trying to come over. But if I'm being, like, see this car right here, that's not a smart gap to take, because now you're going to hit your brakes, and from a loaded center, see, he's still jumping lanes because he should have already been over there. And there he goes again. That also causes problems. Well, what's going on, folks? We just got loaded here. Oh, my head is itching. I'm sweating. Woo! Just got loaded. Got a long drive ahead of us. Heading back down south. Obviously, I am up in New York. So, yeah. Just gonna get a little comfortable here, because I don't plan on getting back out. Don't plan on getting back out until it's 30-minute break time or fuel, which I'll probably do my 30 while I'm getting fuel. It's the best way to be efficient. Get my snacks and I'll be able to reach that while I'm going that road. All right, let's ride. Oh wait, I gotta put the bills. Motive, so it's a tablet. So the keyboard's like this big. So yeah, we're getting ready to head on down the road and catch y'all in a little bit. Come on. y'all check this out. We got us a long nose Pete TMC. Look at here. Long nose Pete TMC. Yeah. You don't see that every day. 3 million mile driver. They said 3 million miles. I ain't giving up this long nose. I understand, driver. Come on. Load securement time. Remember, check your chains, fellas. Always check your chains. We good. We good. I think he said this core was 29,000. So no matter what the weight is, I always put a minimum of 4 chains on, and at least one strap over top. So this load is secured. Hey, peep this. I noticed that I have this little blemish on here now. Crazy. Now see, what had happened was I was backing in up against a dock Tuesday afternoon, and I felt a little bump, and I didn't know what it was, and I already had the tension loose on my curtain. So what it was because I couldn't exactly see that like this side a little bit, I barely rubbed up against a pole to let you know that the edge of the dock is there. So I rubbed up against it, put a hole in my curtain. Yeah, what's going on, y'all? Just a quick little update. We rolling through Ohio, just got our fuel, took a 30-minute break. So, yep. We're pressing on, hammer down, boys. Come on. what's going on. So we just got stopped for the night. Probably could have kept going, but really didn't feel like it. But we got our dinner cooking. Meal prep. So yeah, we about to eat and just chill out for a little bit and then hit the sack. So yeah, just like I said, been a long day. It is now, I mean, it's only 9 o'clock, 15 after 9, but you know, we've been up since about 6 o'clock this morning, waiting on a load. But you know, that didn't come until probably about 10 to 11, something like that. And then ever since then, it's just been go. So yeah, just got a little bit to go. About 330 miles to our delivery tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna knock that out, and we are definitely going to get a truck wash. I need it bad, so bad. So since we won't be in much of a hurry, I actually get to squeeze that in. Yeah, so probably heard the microwave. Gotta go a little bit longer just to make sure my protein is good and hot. So, but yeah, man. So we'll catch you down the road. Come on. We are just getting started this morning, making our way down south. Like I said last night, we got about 326 miles to go to our delivery. collection of trailers going northbound. So whatever it is, it's on the southbound side. And yeah. And that car right there, that's why traffic happens, because they just jump lane to lane to lane to lane instead of just sitting still. And just stay in the lane that you're in, you'll move smoother. Especially when there's no signage that says there's a certain lane closed. Okay, so they're on the right shoulder. As you can see, I don't know if it's picking it up yet, but the outside lane should move just fine because we're nowhere near it. But you know, the law says to move over for flashing lights and disabled vehicles. But if you can't, you're supposed to just slow down and go by slowly. So clearly, with all the traffic going on, the only lane that should be going quote unquote slowly is the right lane going past the incident. But as we all know, four-wheelers always have their phones out, and they've got to record everything so they can post it to their Facebook account or their Instagram account to try and get their time to shine in glory for someone else's demise. Different when you already have a camera recording, but if you don't, you're obviously taking your eyes off the road to get your phone. If you don't already have it in your hand, go to your camera, make sure it records,
be in any of the three
and then you
left
take
lanes.
the time to get the whole incident in frame as you're going by. So not only are you distracted, you're becoming a hazard on the road. Eventually turning into an incident yourself. Don't be that person. If you really want to post that to your social media, wait to see it on somebody else's. There's hundreds of people that are doing the same thing you're doing. You're bound to find it and repost it as your own, if it's really that serious. Otherwise, it's not. Should go 275, but not over there. And this eventually bust wide open right after 275 anyway, so it's just all the traffic coming off of 275 to get on the 71 majority of the time. I've been saying this for a while now. When it comes to these interchanges, they were well planned and thought out when they were created, but they haven't adapted to the volume of cars that run through them now. So a lot of the ones that get backed up like this are the ones that have the same merge lane. So when I say the same merge lane, I'm saying like people coming off of one interstate have to merge over into the lane that exit, but at the same time, the people that are trying to come onto the interstate are using that exact same lane to merge into traffic. So it causes a jam, and that is the root of all problems when it comes to these interchanges, because of the loop. They made loops instead of having them, merge or like, it's hard to explain without having like a diagram, but instead of looping around to the right to merge left, they should have looped it, like did it up and over. So if you were coming, I'm going southbound, so like people that are on 275 west trying to go northbound, they should have had lanes looped over or under, however they want to do it, under the eastbound side, so they could just merge into traffic smoothly. You're about to get a perfect example, because all the people coming off the westbound side are trying to go north, and all the people going southbound are trying to go east, if that makes sense. I wish I had a diagram to explain better so you can see what I'm talking about. But see how all the cars right now are they're merging right to go east, but all these cars coming on are coming west, so they're using the exact same lane, causing a backup. And for whatever reason, people driving cars don't have the common sense to, I guess you can say alternate. Like, you're about to exit, so you should find your hole without breaking much speed. And the same is coming into traffic. Like, coming into traffic, they have a lane that they can merge into. It's just a cluster of nonsense. And then further down, you got the people going east, coming into traffic right here, merging into this right lane, and they don't have much of an acceleration lane. So if nobody's letting them in, they're having to stop, slow down, whatever the case may be, causing that right lane to back up. And while they're stopped, they wait for the smallest little hole they can find, and then they jump over and slow down the lanes that aren't even hindered by said congestion, which causes that lane to get backed up. And then the chain reaction, they do it to the fast lane, and then that also gets backed up. That really should completely keep moving if you're already over there. Which is why when I'm in traffic, if I'm being the courteous person that I normally am, I'll leave a gap, for them to squeeze in, but they've got to take it while it's there, because if I close it, and ain't no sense in you trying to come over. But if I'm being, like, see this car right here, that's not a smart gap to take, because now you're going to hit your brakes, and from a loaded center, see, he's still jumping lanes, because he should have already been over there. And there he goes again. That also causes problems, doing it that way. Like, if you know your exit's coming, you should just already be over where you're supposed to be. Everybody's in the same traffic you are, so have some patience. But like I was saying, I usually leave a gap for stopping distance, especially when I'm loaded. But if I'm having, a rough day because, getting cut off, or, just stupidness, I will keep the gap closed as much as possible without putting myself or the car in front of me at risk. So, like, I'm at a good distance now, but let's say we were rolling, just a steady roll, I'd probably keep the gap about right here. if we were rolling at a steady pace. But because we're stop and go, I'll keep it a little bit bigger. That's what you're supposed to do. I mean, I'm just being honest. Very rarely will you see me on the bumper of somebody, except when I'm coming up on somebody going super slow and I turn my blinker on, and the trucks will usually let you over because they understand, but cars, they like to hang around at the back of your trailer up until you get to said vehicle in front of you, and then they'll speed up, causing you to slow down and don't have enough time to react and all that. Or they like to just hang out right in the blind spot on either side. Which I have a clip that I made. Car stupidity. That I haven't posted yet, but I got it. Just waiting in the brakes. And the sad thing is, most of the time, these people have been driving for years and still haven't figured out how to navigate in traffic. And I get a new driver, but these older ones, they be the worst ones. And then they want to get mad at you for nothing. Like I had somebody when I was going through. I just went through Buffalo, and I was in the fast lane, and I was doing the speed limit, so I was doing what I was supposed to do. But the problem was the vehicle in front of me was doing. Well, I wasn't doing. Let me backtrack. I wasn't doing the speed limit because I was behind the vehicle doing under the speed limit, but they couldn't see that vehicle in front of me, so they thought I was just blocking the left lane. And the car was. He was passing people, but he was still doing under the speed limit. So when he finally got over, and I hammered down, and then got over in front of that guy. All they seen was road in front of them. So the first car that passed me, I looked over at him, and he was giving me the bird, like I was in the wrong. And I was actually on the phone with my wife. This was before, actually, I don't know if I had already started my channel or I just wasn't recording at the time, but I was on the phone with my wife, and I said, oh, there's another one giving me the bird. And, she asked why. And I was like, well, there was a car in front of me not doing the speed limit. And he finally got out of the fast lane and got over. So then when I finally went on down the road and got over, all they seen was road in front of them. So they thought I was just blocking the lane. But they never tried to get around me on the right side, which was smart on their part. But when they seen open road, they thought I was the problem. So dude gave me the bird, and then he sped off. Got in front of me, and did his deed. But then slowed down to the speed limit was I think 65 or something. So I'm gonna do 5 over. They give you 5 over. So I was doing 70, and I passed him and looked over at him, and he wasn't so tough when I passed him because dude didn't even look over. So he was being all tough, thinking I wasn't gonna pass him or something. I don't know. Thought I'd never catch back up to him. But when people do that and I can actually pass them back, I look at them like they're an idiot because they did all that for nothing just to get passed right back by me. If you were in such a hurry, you should have just went on down the road instead of slowing down, trying to be a tough guy, and went about your business. But that's just how people are. Oh, then there was another one. It was a 3-lane, and I was actually getting into traffic, so I was actually merging back into traffic. And it was actually, I remember this clip because it was in a video, but I had it sped up and didn't talk about it. But what you didn't see in that clip was there was a white car, so I was merging onto the interstate, and the 3rd lane was actually about to end in like, I think, a mile and a half or so from the on-ramp. So I was behind another truck, and he was still trying to get his speed up, so the car was actually behind us. So when I decided to make my maneuver to move to the middle lane, he did it at the same time. But how was I supposed to know he was going to be moving over at the exact same time? My blinker was on, so he knew what I was doing. So I move over, he moves over, but then he moves over to the lane that's ending and like cuts it so close to getting in front of me. He goes by giving me the bird, and then for the next like 5-10 miles through construction, he would speed up, and then he'd slow down to where like I needed to pass him because he was slowing down so much, and then he'd jump over in front of me, give me the bird. I can see it through his back window. Give me the bird, and then like pump his fist like, you know, you idiot, you know, blah 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 blah, probably cussing me out or whatever the case may be. He did that for 5 to 10 miles through this construction zone, out of the construction zone, and then once we were out of the construction zone, he just sped off, or I think he got off at like the second exit after the construction. So once again, being a tough guy, doing all things that don't affect me none, because you know I'm gonna go about my business, you know, and you know, gets off the interstate, you know, and I'm unbothered by it from that point on. So you did all that for 5 to 10 minutes just to get off and go on your merry way. I don't get it. People are creatures of habit, and you know, when stuff like that happens, I don't get revenge on them. If I get in front of them, I don't slam on my brakes. I don't cut them off too close. You know, I don't do none of that. I'm a changed person. So back in my heyday, I would have did all of that, even in this truck. But I don't do that now. But don't get me wrong, I stand on business. You know, and my wife would be the first one to tell you, like, I don't take no kind of animosity towards me. You know, you come to me correct, you know, approach me with respect, and you'll get the same in return. But you know, if you come to me incorrect, you gonna get the work. Like, I'm gonna try my hardest to stay cordial, but I can only stay cordial for so long. Like, actually, last week, no, by the time this video comes out, I think 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, I was in Oswego, and you know, their lot and stuff was all covered in snow, so you couldn't see the lanes where you're supposed to, you know, stage to get loaded. So we were all just jacked up back there, and I was like the last truck that parked, so I parked based on where I could fit. And security came through and, you know, made everybody readjust. So while I'm adjusting, I had to actually, you know, back and use my blind side, you know, back my blind side, because I had to get behind the furthest truck to my right. And so while they were guiding me, you know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Got an overhang of the trailer on my sight side, so I just looked at that and seen I was clear, checked my blind side mirror, and then right as I was going back to check my sight side mirror, the security person stop. And I'm like, what are you yelling stop for? So I slammed on my brakes, thinking I was about to just completely destroy something. And I'd seen that my trailer, the corner of my trailer was touching another driver's kind of stoker curtain. And he was a J-Road driver, so you know I didn't think much of it. See, I'm talking, so I'm not my book's still playing. I didn't think nothing of it. I thought I was just touching it. So, you know, I pulled forward, you know, adjusted, got right, and then that guy adjusted, got right, and then like 20 minutes went by, and I'm sitting there just, you know, minding my business. I'm on the phone with my wife, and I hear a knock on my door like it's the police. Like dude, not hard. So it kind of, you know, made me jump a little bit. So I was like, what in the world? And it was the driver. And he comes over and he's just cussing and doing all that nonsense, talking about, you ripped my curtain. And I'm like, I'm puzzled. I'm like, who did? And he's like, you did. And I'm like, okay. And I'm looking, because I had looked at the spot that I touched. I couldn't see. I couldn't tell. Because, I mean, we're covered in dirt, salt, and all the stuff. So I couldn't see the hole. And he's like, man, had she not yelled, stop it, you would have ripped me wide open. And I own this equipment. And I knew he was a J-Road driver. But, you know, he was a lease operator, owner operator, I don't know, but it was a J-Road curtain, so I assumed that, you know, it's a J-Road trailer, but he said that he owned it, whatever, so he's like, I need your name and your truck number, I gotta turn this in. I'm like, alright, didn't know there was a hole. I've been looking at it for the past 20 minutes and you're just now coming over and telling me that there's a hole there. And he's trying to tell me how to drive and you gotta pay attention to your mirrors. And I'm like, dude, I had literally just looked at it, checked it, and I was nowhere near you, backed up a little bit, and just as I was checking again, she yelled and I hit my brakes. And I thought I was just touching it. I had no idea that the corner put a slice, I'm telling you, a slice into his curtain. Not like the one that I have in mind, because I barely broke a hole. Like these curtains, like if it gets any kind of pressure that can tear, it's gonna tear. So like I barely broke the hole, so mine has a hole in it for my own doing. I had no idea his happened. And his tear was probably 2 inches long. All he had to do was put some Gorilla Tape on it and it'd been done. There was no need to do what he did and say what he said, cussing at me like I'm incompetent, what I'm doing, and all that stuff. But that was a situation where I kept my cool because there was no need for me to get whatever because he got whatever. It was an honest mistake, but it wasn't worth all that. I had, if he wanted it fixed right there, I had the Gorilla Tape in my truck, which I'm sure he did too. But he wanted to go above and beyond and put a report in and whatever, which it came to nothing because I actually went to my home terminal, you know, after I delivered the next day. And, you know, my safety person was like, hey, did you know you backed into another J-Road driver? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, he got my name and my truck number. And, you know, I didn't think it. He's like, did you tell him? Well, they were like, did you tell anybody? And I was like, no, because I didn't think anything of it. I thought he was just going to take care of it. And if somebody was going to contact me about it, they was like 2 inches long. It wasn't even, worth the hassle that he went through trying to do all that for a slipper. And, they're like, yeah, I understand. But, from here on out, if anything like that happens, just let me know. That way, I already know what's going on. When they come to me saying, whatever. Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I can do it. So, yeah, that was it. It wasn't even that big a deal. I didn't get reprimanded for it. I didn't get written up for it, nothing like that. And I went about my business. But, yeah. Had that been anybody else, like maybe if it was a different company, I may have gotten a little bit more irritated. Like, man, bro, you better calm down. You're supposed to kill people with kindness. Treat people how you want to be treated. So, and you don't know what anybody's going through that day, that week. So, you should probably come at them a little bit more calm and try to keep the situation at bay before it escalates to something that it don't need to escalate to. I have been known to have a short fuse, and it's got longer as I get older and continue to become a better person in life, but I still have moments where, and that's normal. If anybody, comes in correct, you just automatically feel disrespected. So, it's a grown man. Yep. See this jack wagon right here. They got over with no blinker. And then, yeah, they're just. Now, that's enough rambling. I'm gonna be quiet now. See y'all when we get to our delivery. Alright, y'all, we are pulling up to our delivery. Another load down, another week secured.